The high-rise stood tall, a monolith of steel and glass. It pierced the city's skyline, casting a long shadow over the bustling streets below. A beacon of modern living, it housed hundreds of souls, each with their own story. A microcosm of the city itself, it was a place of dreams, desires, and secrets. And within its walls, a conflict was brewing, a silent war waged between neighbors. The source of the contention? Cats. Albert lived on the 13th floor. A man of routine, his life was a carefully orchestrated symphony of order and predictability. He rose at precisely 7 a.m., enjoyed his black coffee and toast at 7:15 a.m., and left for work at precisely 7:45 a.m. His apartment was a reflection of his personality, immaculate, sterile, devoid of any clutter or chaos. Having nothing better to do, he began to keep order around the house. Albert harbored a dark secret. He loathed cats. He despised their independent nature, their aloofness, their very existence. He saw them as agents of chaos, creatures that threatened the carefully constructed order of his life. Their presence in the building filled him with a simmering rage, a visceral disgust that he kept hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. Word of Albert's actions spread through the building like wildfire. He overturned their drinking bowls and poured water with soap on their food. The cat-loving residents were outraged, their anger fueled by a mixture of protectiveness towards their beloved pets and disgust at Albert's cruelty. They confronted him, their voices trembling with barely suppressed rage. But Albert, ever the master of deception, feigned innocence, brushing aside their accusations with a dismissive wave of his hand. "You misunderstand," he would say, his voice dripping with faux concern. "I have nothing against cats. These must be unfortunate accidents." His words were honeyed poison, designed to deflect blame and sow seeds of doubt. And despite the mounting evidence, some residents chose to believe him, unwilling to accept that someone in their midst could harbor such malice towards innocent creatures. Amidst the escalating tension, a new presence emerged, a sleek black cat with piercing green eyes. It appeared seemingly out of nowhere, a phantom flitting through the hallways, its movements as silent and graceful as a shadow. It belonged to no one, acknowledging no one, its allegiance seemingly lying elsewhere. The cat was an enigma, a creature of mystery that seemed to exist outside the realm of the ordinary. It moved with an uncanny awareness, its gaze lingering on Albert with an unsettling intensity. It never meowed, never hissed, its silence adding to its aura of otherworldly presence. It was as if the building itself had manifested this creature, a silent guardian summoned to restore balance. Albert's resentment towards the cats intensified, fueled by his escalating misfortunes. He saw them as the source of his troubles, their presence a curse upon his existence. His actions grew bolder, his cruelty more pronounced. He began leaving poisoned food in the hallways, hoping to eliminate the perceived threat. His actions did not go unnoticed. The black cat, its green eyes burning with an eerie light, seemed to be always watching. It would appear at the most unexpected times, its presence a silent accusation. Albert felt a shiver run down his spine whenever their eyes met, a primal fear stirring within him. It was as if the cat was a manifestation of his own guilt, a physical embodiment of his dark thoughts. The black cat became a constant presence in Albert's life, its emerald eyes following his every move. He saw it everywhere, in the shadows of his apartment, lurking in the corners of his vision, even reflected in the blank screen of his television. His world, once ordered and predictable, was now haunted by this silent, enigmatic creature. Sleep became impossible. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the cat's glowing eyes, felt its phantom presence pressing down on his chest. His dreams were filled with images of hissing cats, their claws extended, their eyes burning with an unholy light. He woke up in a cold sweat, his heart pounding, his mind teetering on the edge of madness. One stormy night, the tension finally snapped. Albert, driven to the brink by his paranoia and guilt, suffered a complete mental breakdown. He stumbled through the hallways, his eyes wild, his hair disheveled, muttering incoherently about cats and conspiracies. The storm raged outside, mirroring the tempest within Albert's soul. The wind howled like a banshee, rain lashed against the windows, and thunder roared like a celestial beast. The building creaked and groaned under the onslaught of the elements, as if mirroring Albert's own internal turmoil. The storm subsided, leaving behind a world washed clean. The sun rose, casting a golden glow over the city, as if trying to erase the darkness of the previous night. The residents of the high-rise emerged from their apartments, their faces etched with a mixture of shock and relief. News of Albert's demise spread quickly. Some expressed sorrow, remembering him as a quiet, albeit eccentric neighbor. Others felt a sense of relief, the tension that had gripped the building finally lifting. But all agreed that his death was a tragedy, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the destructive power of unchecked hatred. Life in the high-rise slowly returned to normal. The tension that had gripped the building dissipated, replaced by a sense of cautious optimism. The residents, once divided by suspicion and fear, began to rebuild their relationships, their shared experience forging a new bond of unity. The cats, once symbols of discord, became emblems of reconciliation. They roamed the hallways freely, their purrs a soothing balm to the troubled souls of the residents. They were no longer viewed as nuisances, but as reminders of the simple joys of life, their presence a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The memory of Albert lingered, a cautionary tale of the consequences of unchecked hatred, but his shadow no longer haunted the building. The residents had learned a valuable lesson, that fear and division only breed more darkness, but compassion and understanding can illuminate even the darkest of times. The high-rise, once a battleground, was now a haven of peace, a testament to the enduring power of hope. The sun set each evening, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, a reminder that even after the darkest of storms, there is always the promise of a new dawn. And within the walls of the building, the cats purred contentedly, their silent vigil a comforting reminder that the natural order had been restored, that harmony had finally returned.